Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII. Last time we got the GF brothers, and then I said I was going to go back somewhere. Well, this is where I want to go back to. These are the beaches near the Dollet region, and we'll take a quick look at this once we get back onto the field. But as you can see, these guys can be encountered on the beach. They're not the only encounter. You'll run into those fishes that we encountered at the beginning of the game more often. But they are an encounter you can find here on the beach. And the reason I mention this is if you're a higher level than I am, and you defeat these guys, you can get adamantines, which are going to be important a little bit later. If you're a lower level like I am, you can farm AP out of them, because they give, I think, 8 AP for the two of them. And of course you can card them to avoid taking or getting a whole bunch of experience in the process. They have really high physical defense and relatively high magical defense, so your best bet for taking them down would be either Blizzaga spells, or even Blizzard spells do, I think, about 180. Or you could try and use the Shiva GF if you're in the mood to actually summon something. But at our current levels, we're more likely to get turtle shells for defeating them. And turtle shells are useful in that if you're not going after the same weapons I am, you can use them to get some of the weaker weapons that are available to you. And like, these are more powerful than the ones we have now, but they're not as powerful as the ones I plan on getting. I think specifically two of Squall's different weapons require a turtle shell. So you can get that from refining Adamantoise cards if you are so inclined to do so. But yeah, that's pretty much how you take those guys down. If you care, you'll get some turtle shells, get a whole whack ton of AP, learn things, that's good. Alright, so as you can see, I have made it back over by the Dollet region. And just so you're aware, we were at Dilling City. You can find a path that loops, I think, up to the desert. No. You find something that you can loop up on a road that takes you all the way to Timber and then hike that way, or you can just walk across the plain. It's not too bad. You won't find too many encounters on the way. Hopefully I can get... Yes. Alright. Hopefully I can get on the path, and then we don't have to do any more walking. Now, the reason we want to go back to Dollet after doing the card-related stuff that we did last time, and getting the GF brothers, is, well, the card that the Queen of Cards was looking for was the Sacred card. At least I believe it was the Sacred. If not, it was the Minotaur card. Either way, we just got it. So we need to come back here and lose that to her to send her on her merry way. So let's go do that. Go down to the hotel here, pop in, I'm gonna save, and then I will see you once we lose the card to her, because I don't think you need to see me do that. Actually, I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Before we go and do any of that, I should probably point this out. For some reason, for some of the future RNG manipulation stuff that I plan on doing, you want to have a save file here in Dollet with the Queen of Cards here in Dollet. I don't know why, but that's what we need. So make a save here in the Dollet pub and leave this as an extra save on your file. If you're on the PS or the PlayStation version, you've got 15 blocks on memory card. If you do it on the PC version, I think you have like 30 some slots. I'm not going to show you because that shows future events, but anyway, lots of slots to be able to do that. So once we've saved that, we can come up and we can talk to you. And let's see, about your father. Yeah, so which one was he looking for? He was looking for the Sacred card. So we're just going to lose that to her, and we're not going to mix rules. Okay, so we lost the Sacred card to her, and if things go well, you're heading toward Balam, which is exactly where we want to send her. Now, you want to make your backup save file before sending her to Balam. And before leaving the room, we want to challenge this guy to a card game to make sure that she hasn't passed on some dumb trading rule. I'm going to set it to 1, and I'll be right back. Or not. I guess you can't. That kind of sucks. Well, difference isn't terrible. As long as it's not direct, and preferably not all, it's fine, I guess. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go win the secret card back from her son. Come on, play it up there, be real dumb, make me laugh. I'll play my, Aww, you used intelligence. You're not supposed to do that. Okay, we're back. Now, speaking of the Queen of Cards and RNG, the manipulation that I showed off a couple episodes back in Galbadia Garden, this will only work if the Queen of Cards is currently in Dollet. So make sure, like, anytime I say, you know, we're doing this RNG manipulation, it usually accounts for the Queen of Cards being in a specific spot, especially when it pertains to changing card rules. Anyway, let's go talk to this guy. Oh, well, I guess we can't do anything there. You're bored. Pull the muscle in your leg. Laguna, is that you? Force our way. It wasn't much of a force, and the other two kind of stayed behind, but yeah, you can actually get back here. I'm not sure if this is particularly well known, but yeah, you can make your way all the way back here if you so desire. We can head all the way... Hey, music changed. You can get all the way back up to the... timer. My timer is, or my phone is falling asleep. It's, for some reason it thinks that it's pitch black outside. But yeah, we still have the same Galbadian soldiers we had here as before. They're no more difficult. They have the same spells. They die very, very easily, just like they did before. The only one who can't one-shot them is Selphie, because she doesn't have a strength junction yet. But we're working on it. They actually give a semi-decent amount of experience. Oh well. I'll probably run away from them next time. But yeah. You can also fight Anacondors up here if you so desire, and luckily enough, there they are. I don't think there's a particular need for them. If they are a high enough level, I believe they'll eventually get the Bio spell. So there's that option if you are so inclined. But other than that, I just find them another enemy that you can card the crap out of and gain a bunch of AP without gaining too many levels. But now is pretty close to the time where if you want to gain a really powerful spell much earlier in the game than you otherwise would have, you'll probably want to start gaining a few levels relatively shortly. And I'll go over that in more detail once we get there, because there's plenty of ways of gaining levels relatively quickly once we have the ability to go and get this spell anyway. Would you hurry up and turn into a card, please? Guard you. If not, I'll attack you again. My levels aren't much higher than they were when I was here the first time because I've used card to keep my levels so low. So these guys don't have much more HP than they did before, and I think they had around 1200 or so HP, so don't do too much damage to them. You can get more Venom Fangs from them if you want. That Anaconda's card you got after the fight, sometimes the enemy will drop a card. So in addition to the 2 cards that I got from carding the enemies in particular, one of their drops was also a card, so I got a total of 3 cards out of that. And I should probably check what I'm working on. Yeah, I guess you can work on that. Mid-magic is pointless, but sure, why not? And you guys... Yeah, Ifra's all a lot of stuff to work on. So is Siren. Ooh, we almost got Strength. Lovely. And Mug is making its way up there. After learning Encounter Half, which I did off-screen in one of the battles I fought, we have the ability to learn Encounter None, which eliminates all encounters. This is a wonderful thing to have, but it's not required yet. You can get it whenever the hell you want, to be honest, but in order to do what I need to do later on, all I need is Encounter Half, though pretty much anyone who recommends, gives you advice on how to do it will say to use Encounter None, but I did it a bunch of times and Encounter Half worked for me. Those of you who know about manipulation may know what I'm talking about. We'll get there. Let's leave it a surprise for some people. Huh, we didn't know. We better go home then. Yeah, they're not doing too good about that guard detail. Yeah! Bring it on! VIII 001. Oh god. Okay. I was about to say, oh crap, but no, not particularly. Oh, we got number 2. Oh, they got another one. I don't know. Why are you guys so incompetent? We'll get you for that. Forget you even saw us. Yeah, they were supposed to have pulled out of here, but as far as I know, now let me know in the comments if you know anything about this, but as far as I know, this is as far as you can get. You can never get all the way back up to the top. Just come back and see this scene, and that's pretty much it. Anyway, with that being said, I think that's pretty much all we can do around here, so I will meet you back in Dollet City. Okay, I guess I'll show this little scene there. Pain must have knocked you out. No one got through, huh? Everything's fine. But before we get back to Dollet City, there's one thing I would like to point out. And that's, if you're following along, I only got 10 El Noil cards. If you specifically want to get the full 20 to do something on disc 1, even though it's the PC port and there technically aren't any discs at all anymore, come and play cards against this guy. He plays, I think he's the only one on the continent who plays level 5 cards somewhat consistently, and what I've done is I've picked up to a total of 20 El Noil cards, not an additional 20. I got 10 originally, I think I picked up 13, but I've got it up to a total of 20. I'm not recommending you guys do this, and the reason why I said 10 was all you needed at the start was because we're going to get a way around this. It just takes a little bit longer, and by a little bit I mean a little bit, not a lot at all. It doesn't have to be done now, but you can come and play cards against this guy if you so desire. One of the things you can do, I wasn't able to do it this time, but you can kind of stand right here and lock him in place so he doesn't move, and then you don't have to worry about him running away. You can just do whatever you need to do. So I got a bunch of cards from that. While you're doing this, you should also start working on trying to get any cards that require more than one of them to a level where you can refine all of them away. So Fastion, F thingies, the Blobras, you want to try and do that there. Let's see, you want Turtle Pods. These are level 4 cards, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, no, he can use level 4 cards, so you could do that here. Iron Giants, you want to get them to a multiple of 3. Again, Hex Dragons and Adamantoises, all multiples of 3. These guys, the Blue Dragons, to a multiple of 4. You don't have to do all this now, just kind of something to work on over the course of the game as we move further along. You won't really need to worry about this until later, but I'm just suggesting you do it now because you don't want to have excess cards for any time that you have to deal with the random rule. And I believe, if I remember correctly, we still do have to deal with it a little bit. So while I was here, I also, just as I was collecting my El Noil cards, I got up to a 10 total of Behemoth cards. I'm still missing 4 for the Chimeras, but not a big deal. We'll get those later. And I managed to max out the Ruby Dragons at 10. Again, something you'll want to work on. And what else? The Black Widow Spider guy. This guy, you only need 2 of him. That's fine. In the case of these guys, you don't really need any of these at all. This is a level 6 card. You can, instead of trying to win more of them, if you don't have very many like I do, what you can do is you can put them in a, go play a card game against somebody, put these 3 in, and then just put like a bunch of Geezered cards in or something like that, and then lose specifically so you lose those cards. Instead of trying to randomly get the NPCs to play them, so you can get up to the amount that you can get rid of them, you can just lose them all. And you never needed to come get any of these to begin with. The Shumi tribe, that one is rather unique. It's kind of nice to have if you do a lot of carding, but that's entirely up to you. The item you get from there, you can modify into something to teach the card ability to another GF, if you so desired. But anyway, that's only to do what I'm trying to do a little bit earlier. Now I'll meet you in Dollet. Okay, we're back. Are you guys ready to break the game even more than we've already broken it? I mean, you know, we're at level 10 and Zell has a vitality stat of 115. I don't think the game intends us to do this, but we're gonna do it anyway. Yeah, this game is so easily broken that I think it's more fun to show how to break it than to just kind of play along and, you know, not overly level grind or not underly level grind or any of that kind of stuff. In order to do this, we need to play cards. I've played cards, as I showed you. Now, if you want to do what I'm doing, I'm just doing the ones that are relatively easy. There's only one weapon that I've gone out of my way to farm stuff for. The rest of it's pretty easy to get. We need at least one cockatrice pinion. We need some magic stones, which I don't care about. We'll just get rid of those two. We need a mesmerize blade, or a few of them anyway. We also need some curse spikes, so we'll grab those. What else do we want? We want some sharp spikes, so we're going to get those. And what else do we need here? Some dynamo stones would be nice. If you don't have them, I have a way around that. And what else? Let's see here. Let's check my list here, because I've got a nice handy list here. Star fragments. We need a couple of those. And let's see here, we need some steel pipes from the Lastoid cards. So we've got all of those, and yes, the one that's taken forever and a day to get. Yeah, I just spent about another hour grinding to get the last few Elm Oil cards that I needed. Again, like I was just saying, you don't need to do this now. You only need 10 of them to make this obtainable within a reasonable amount of time. It's slightly into disc 2 that you'll be able to get this otherwise, and we're nearing the end of disc 1. So it's not far away to wait. I'm just showing you that you can indeed do it now. Get 2 energy crystals from that. Now, the last 2. The Kyros card, Accelerators. And the Minotaur card, Adamantines. Oh my, we have broken this game. Ammo Refine. Let's go over to those energy crystals. It becomes Pulse Ammo. Turn it 2 of them into 20 Pulse Ammo. The reason we're in this particular screen is because there is a shop here. Here is your proof. We do not have the final magazine to get Squall's ultimate weapon. In his case, his ultimate weapon really isn't that much more powerful than his current weapon. In fact, none of the weapon upgrades throughout the game really do much of anything for your physical attack power, so they don't really matter. However, each time you get a new weapon, up to 4 total limit breaks, Squall gets a new limit break. To get his final one, you need the Lionheart weapon, because his final limit break is, well, Lionheart, which is also his last name. It's gotta get really confusing. But anyway, so yeah, we need the 4 Dragon Fangs that we were able to get from Grendel's fighting in the forest. We need an Adamantine from the card we just refined from Minotaur's card. And we need Pulse Ammo refined from the energy crystals that we got from Elm Oil cards. To do that, we have his ultimate weapon. Zell! What else did I need for yours? I'll come back to that one. I'm going to come back to yours too, because I thought I had something else for you. Here we have the Cardinal, the Cockatrice Pinion, the Mesmerize Blade, and the Sharp Spike. It's not a big upgrade, but it's the best I can do right now. Selphie. Selphie is lucky. Her ultimate weapon also has 255 accuracy. This comes into play not very often, but once in a while it does. And here we need another Adamantine, the Star Fragment from the Iron Giant cards, and Curse Spike from Tri-Face cards. We get that, and we've leveled that one up. Okay, just double-checked my notes here. So the other things that I forgot to grab here, we want to grab some Dragon Fins, which I believe are on Grendel's, so we're going to find all those cards. And we want Spider Webs from... where are those Caterpillar cards? Where's Caterpillar cards? Did I already refine them all? Oh, they're there. I'm blind. To get those, And if you don't have the Dynamo Stones, instead you can go and refine the bomb cards, wherever that is, and get bomb fragments. I don't particularly need that in my case, but I figured I would show it just in case. So unfortunately, the best thing we can do with Zell is get, I believe this is his second weapon, the Maverick. It's not a big upgrade. I just figure since I'm already doing upgrades, we'll do this. In order to get any of his better weapons, and even a better weapon for Keistis, you need dragon skins. Dragon, like, there's different things. We got dragon fins from the Grendel card there. Dragon skins are a completely different beast, and they're extremely rare to get early in the game. You can, if you want to, have about a 5% chance to get one as a drop from either a Grendel or an Anacondor. I wasn't able to get either of them, and I fought a few of them throughout, not really trying to grind it, but when I was fighting the Grendels to get Dragon Fangs, I saved after I got 6 and fought them like 3 or 4 more times to see if I could get lucky. I didn't. It's not a big deal. Zell's weapon's not really a big deal. This one here is the Bismarck. We need Dynamo Stones for this. If you don't have Dynamo Stones from the Blitz card, then you can use this as a backup and use the bomb fragments. Either way, you need screws, which you can get as a drop from anything, or from the Gizzard card. In fact, I think it's generally a drop from them. But yeah, so the other option is to get the Dynamo Stones. We get a slightly better weapon out of it. So there's that. Keistis, unfortunately, in order to get her next level beyond her second level here, requires way more grinding than I'm willing to do right now. So we're just going to get for that one. And yeah, we got the other ones all the way up there. So we got 2 ultimate weapons, the Squalls and Selfies on disc 1, and we got Irvin and Renoa's second best weapons in the game. Unfortunately, Chrysis and Zell got left behind, but that's not a big deal. You think that's broken? Nah. Let's do some more stuff. I'm having fun today. Time, no, I think it's Tool Magic Refined, isn't it? Let's see here. It is not Tool Magic Refined. It is... Oh no, it's right in item. I know what I'm doing. There we go. Yeah, so the Adamantine, if you really want, you can teach Vitality plus 60% to some of your GFs. I don't really care for that. The accelerators that teach Auto Haste, that, on the other hand, is awesome. Now, before we teach those, go and double check your GFs, because some of them will be all filled up on abilities. In my case, none of the ones that I want to teach them to are full up. If that was the case, we have the Amnesia Greens, we could make them forget something, but that's not a big deal because we don't need that in this case. So let's go Quetzalcoatl, Shiva, and Ifrit. You can teach them to whichever GFs you want, but these in particular are ones that I find I'm going to use later on in the game. So now what we can do is we can put on ability, and we can put auto haste. You stay in haste for the whole battle, it doesn't run out, makes you immune to, I believe, slow and stop, which is broken in and of itself, and it just makes things a lot easier. A lot easier to draw magic, a lot easier to get the first strike in battle. In fact, it makes us so fast that we actually want to go into the configurator and lower our battle speed, because if we go too fast, if our speed stat and our haste ability is so high, we actually don't get the benefit and the enemies will end up kind of catching up to us. So we actually want to drop it down to 75% here. Later, once we get the ability to junction to our speed stat, as we can see in here on the bottom right there, the fourth one from the top, or from the bottom, we can actually improve our speed stat later on when we get the junctions for that. Once we're able to do that and start building that up, we'll drop our battle speed even more to give us even more of an advantage. So yeah, we've got ultimate weapons on disc 1, we have auto haste for everyone on disc 1, and we're just flat out overpowered. Very soon now, everyone's going to have Strength Junction. Very soon. And then after that, everyone will have HP Junction, and there will be nothing that can stand in our way. Anyway, that's all for this overpowered episode. Next time, we're going to get back on the plot. Not that any of the enemies are going to be able to stand up to us, but we should probably enjoy the plot for what it is. That's all for this one, and I'll see you guys next time.